Hello, and welcome to Couple vs. Cardboard's unboxing of the E-Wing expansion for Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game. I, as always, am Glenn, and of course...
I'm Cheryl.
And with us we have a couple guests today. Cheryl, who do we have with us today?
Well, we have our friend Max, who you guys have seen before, and we have Dallas joining us today as well.
So Dallas, you may or may not be familiar with him. He was one of the World Finalists at World last year. Took on Paul Heaver in the finals.
Yes, and you could say I'm the best of the losers.
I think we like to say that you're one of the World Finalists.
Okay.
Yeah. And Dallas is hanging out with us today. He's going to do some unboxing with us. He's going to be with us through all of the wave for unboxing. So that's going to be fun. So we're going to start out with the E-Wing, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. Now, just so everybody's cards are on the table, in this case literally, but then also figuratively, we should talk about who we normally run. Like what factions do we normally run? So myself, I am of course part of the Grand Army of the Empire. What about you, Dallas?
I'm one of the good guys.
Yeah.
We fight the terrorists.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got the two Empire guys here. What about you two?
Well, I basically always run Rebels.
Yeah.
I'm rebellious.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm just a terrorist.
Apparently.
Has nothing to do with X-Wing.
Yeah.
He's just in his...
Sorry. I play the rebels in X-Wing.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so obviously we'll probably be leaning on the two of you for this one, and then for the next one I'll just be looking to Dallas's wisdom to tell me everything I should be thinking. Let's start with the model itself. So what are your guys' thoughts? Obviously Fantasy Flight, very cool looking model to begin with. Max, Cheryl, you guys have any initial thoughts?
Well, it's a ship.
Okay.
I think it's cool. I think it's not my favorite of the models of the new stuff, but I still think it's fun and great.
I agree. When I saw this ship in the packaging, I thought it was weird and fat and not fun at all.
Sure.
And then I took it out, and it looks really good on the stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely kind of looks like a lot of other Rebel ships.
Yes.
But not in so much as to take away from its glory and its little different things about
It's
it. Like
similar,
the wings
but not
are
the
different.
same.
Everything is slightly different enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea how it looks a little bit like an A-Wing, a little bit like an X-Wing.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a combination of the two in essence.
Next piece, let's talk a little bit about the dials. So the dial for the E-Wing. So what do you guys think about the dial for the E-Wing so far? So obviously,
I think I should look at it.
when we look at it so far, it's very similar to that of an X-Wing.
Of an X-Wing. It's very similar.
What are your thoughts about it, Max?
I like it. I mean, there's a lot of, really useful utility moves on it. The one thing that really throws a lot of people in the way that this thing moves is that it does not have a one hard turn.
Oh, yeah.
And when a ship is on the Rebel side and it has, shields and it's trying to be kind of defensive a lot of the time, that one maneuver ends up being really useful for either blocking or just, getting yourself in the right position. And this doesn't have that.
Yeah, because a lot of people were thinking it might.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the A-Wing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but otherwise, the dial is really cool. It has two different K-turns. It, has a lot of green that it can do. So I like it, but it has a very specific place because it doesn't have that very specific move.
Yeah, the one reason I really like this is you have all the way from 1 to 5 forward. So I know playing as ties, if you have a 2 minimum, then that's hard to stay behind something. So this can go full speed or can almost slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
So I think that's really solid, either staying with B-Wings or keeping up with A-Wings. So I can kind of do one or both.
With the E-Wing itself, a lot of stuff going on. 3 attack, 3 agility, 2 hull, and 3 shields. It also has, obviously, a focus, a target lock, a barrel roll, and an evade. A couple different things right there. It also has, just for those playing at home, also it has sensors, proton torpedoes, an Astromech slot, as well as some of them have an elite pilot talent slot as well. So a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I mean, being able to, like, if you have 2 actions to push the limit, being able to position and, target lock, plus give it an engine upgrade, it has everything.
Yeah.
So you can kind of mimic a really heavy interceptor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, for me, I really like the barrel roll action is something not only am I just familiar with doing a lot, but I like that it sort of feels like it's a tank it's a tank that can kind of, like pivot and be a little bit more agile than normal. So yeah, fun.
I think it's fun.
Cool. Stuff about the slots. So lots of a bunch of different unique slots. Not unique, but obviously there are very few ships that kind of have. Well, it's the only ship that has all of them. But so things like sensors. Right now, we've only seen it up to this point on the shuttle and the B-wing. We got 2 ships in this wave, but as well as we have the Astromech slot. Mm-hmm. So thoughts on some of those kinds of things for this ship?
Just so many combos you can do.
Yeah, especially with the new, there are new Astromechs in this as well that are coming up, and there's so many different combinations of Astromechs and sensors that you can kind of combine into whatever. There's advanced sensors giving you actions prior to things, and then there's R2 units that give you some actions, or there's just so many possibilities. I don't even know where to really start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can tailor this thing to be kind of whatever you need it to be, in essence. You're going to spend points on it, but yeah, either full evade or full mobility or full firepower.
Yeah.
Or a combination of those, if you want to kind of give it a jack-of-all-trades kind of ship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
So let's talk about some of the pilots.
All right.
So first, there are 2 non-unique pilots for the E-Wing. One is the Nave Squadron pilot, pilot skill of 1 and cost 27. The other is the Black Moon Squadron pilot, which is a pilot skill of 3 and cost 29. So what do you guys think of these 2 guys?
Definitely expensive.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what to think. I've tried them. I've tried them in a few different things. Sometimes I feel like the low pilot skill guys should be like a blocker of some sort, but it's a lot of points to spend on someone who's going to block some guys.
Yeah.
So trying to figure that out and kind of combining it with the upgrade cards is where I think is going to be the key for making the E-Wing really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about with a pilot skill of 1 and 3 respectively? Any thoughts about that?
It's just really low.
Yeah.
For how many points it costs.
Almost as low as you can get for 1.
Yeah.
There's only 0 below that.
Right. Which is, there's only, anyways.
Yeah.
I was about to nerd out on the 2 things. There are only 2 things that can make you 0. Anyways, sorry, yeah.
But yeah, it's low. It's really low. They cost a lot. But someone's gonna figure something out. They're probably smarter than me, and then I'll copy them and make something out of it. So we have, I'm gonna butcher this name, but it's Eton Abat. When an enemy ship inside your firing arc at range 1 to 3 is defending, the attacker may change one of its hit results to a critical result. He's also pilot skill 5. He's got an elite pilot talent. But again, he costs 32 points all by himself. So, yeah, do the Imperials fear Utanabat?
Well, considering we don't have shields most of the time, so that crit comes through. Also note that it does work on him. So he, in essence, gets his own crit, which is very solid.
Yeah, he's going to be really cool in some weird squad that just shoots a lot of guns. Maybe him and a bunch of Z95s or something, which also don't exist yet.
Right.
According to this.
They don't exist on our website. Right? Yeah.
But, yeah, again, he's expensive.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Again, we'll figure it out, and the Rebels will win.
We'll see.
So the highest pilot skill is Corn Horn. Pretty awesome dude. Pilot skill 8. So his special ability is at the start of the end phase, you may perform 1 attack. You cannot attack during the next round. And I think that's so solid.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So in essence, you can come in, get all your buffs, get all your tokens, fire at somebody. At the end of the phase, say, hey, I got a range 1 shot right now. Next turn I'm going to be turning around, so I might as well shoot again. Plus you only have 1 token that round.
Yeah.
So you can unload, kill somebody off, and then fly away, and then take your time coming around and evade next turn. And be like, well, I don't have a shot, so...
Yeah.
It's always better to wipe out ships early.
Yeah, and I was jousting with him. I basically got him, not jousting literally, but I was... I
have this image of you on a horse.
Yeah, I bought a horse, by the way. I meant to tell you, honey.
Oh, no.
I bought a horse. But it was basically just me, one of my defenders, and Corin left at the very end. So it's 1-on-1, and it was brutal to constantly, I had to dodge, multiple turns I had to dodge twice in a row because he's firing twice, and then my defender is praying. It's just, it's all I can do is just hope that I don't die. And I did lose, inevitably, to him. So
Alright.
He had R7T1, which is the new hotness. So, yeah, it was fun.
He could also have something like marksmanship.
Yes.
There's so many cards that will
Fire
make
control.
both attacks awesome. Yeah, marksmanship and fire control and R7T1. Let's just give him
So
everything.
expensive for all that business.
You know what? If he kills everyone on the
gotta be
other
worth
side, then it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good. I don't know if he will, because he costs a lot.
He does. He costs a lot. I think that's the moral of the story, kids. He costs a lot. And there's the more you know, rainbow just goes by.
Good.
Right across Dallas's face.
Apparently.
And then into my mouth.
If I can work that graphic out, don't think I will.
So those are all of the E-Wing pilots. So let's talk about some of the upgrades.
Yeah.
Glenn, you want to do our first one?
Sure. First one up is Outmaneuver. It's 3 points when attacking a ship inside your firing arc. If you are not inside that ship's firing arc, reduce its agility value by 1 to a minimum of 0. I love this card. I think it's really great. I've tried it out a little bit on the Defender. I think it works with a lot of guys who are just really good at arc dodging. So the examples of guys like the Interceptor, and obviously we've given some examples of where the E-Wing could really work with it as well. But I'm just a big Outmaneuver fan. What do you guys think?
So I think it's really solid. I think it will work really well on ships with 2 attack, because they're struggling just to get attacks in, whereas if you get a reroll, it's like, okay, you might not even use it because you only have 2 dice.
Yeah.
So with this, it's like, okay, you built in wedge, so instead of rolling 2 versus 3 green, it's 2 versus 2.
That's
It's almost as good as 3 versus 3.
Yeah. That's cool.
And yeah, like you were saying, I think I love the idea of putting it on something that can do barrel rolls and boosts and jump around all over the board. I even thought for 3 seconds about putting it onto a Chewbacca YT and with expert handling and see how it goes, because you can get out of arcs pretty easily when you're moving halfway across the board with a barrel roll.
Sure.
So just you have to shoot them with your front fire.
Right, which is the trouble. So we'll see.
Yeah.
If I get that good at maneuvering, then we'll have to try it out.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so then we have the torpedo that comes with this is Flechette Torpedoes. Attack, target lock. Discard this card and spend your target lock to perform this attack. After you attack, the defender receives 1 stress token if its whole value is 4 or lower.
So obviously not a new card. Flechette Torpedoes came with the Rebel Transport. But what are your guys' thoughts on it? Because obviously for a lot of people who either didn't grab the transport or maybe were waiting or whatever, or maybe just get more now. What do you guys think for Flechette Torpedoes now?
I think that they're really great, and they're only cost 2,
Yeah.
which makes them really valuable, I think, and really functional. So, yeah, I like them.
So the nice part is it's mainly you're firing it for the stress.
Yeah.
Because it's just auto happens. You don't have to hit. So if the defender has 6 agility, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you still take a stress.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think also one of the cool things I think we've seen up to this point is that often Rebel torpedo bays will just go unused.
Yeah.
Because it's so expensive to use it, and it's a one-time use weapon, and while it could be awesome, it's 4 points, which is usually really expensive. Whereas with this, it's 2 points, and so we may see kind of a lot more people end up throwing it on just in case or something like that.
Yep.
Obviously, with flechette torpedoes, giving a stress to a ship is really great because you're able to, you know, kind of hinder them for their next movement. But if you're giving a ship with a stress that already exists, now they have 2, and now they don't get actions on their next turn.
Yeah.
I mean, action denial is a huge thing. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'll definitely work on trying to find a place for them. I don't know if I will, but it's something. And 2 points, you're right, is an awesome cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just don't fire it at Y-wings or bombers, because then you don't stress them.
Oh yeah, that's a
Well,
good point.
Not until they're lower,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, hull
Does
value is 4 or lower.
Is it hull value or is it the remaining hull?
'Cause I feel like-
it literally says hull value.
Huh.
Because you don't lose hull, you just gain cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
neat.
gain damage, so I don't think it works.
So it doesn't work at all against something that starts with more hull. Cool.
Yeah.
Good. Good to know. The more you know. Again. This is an oldie, but a goodie.
Yeah.
Advanced sensors.
Sure.
So
A
good.
lot of people know about it. If you don't already know, and you're new with Wave 4, you can use it to immediately, prior to revealing your maneuver, perform a free action. If you use this ability, you then skip your action during the regular time to do it. What do you think? You used it today.
Yes. Well, it's so nice having it on Imperials.
Yeah.
It's just so flexible. You can action before you K-turn, so you have a focus, or you can just intentionally ram stuff and you still have an action, so you can just shoot full power. You can barrel roll to the side, especially with E-wings. It's just almost every turn you have a use for it.
Yeah. It's fun. Yeah, advanced sensors, and obviously it's nice to have like have it be in a ship that people want to buy a bunch of. Like, I think obviously that was one big issue that a lot of people were feeling was, I don't want multiple, like for B-wings, they'd have to buy multiple shuttles just so they could throw it on their B-wings, and now
They don't
have to do that. No, you don't. You can sell all your shuttles if you want.
You don't have to.
I would like to buy one of them, please.
For real cheaps.
Yeah.
We have R7 Astromech. Once per round, when defending, if you have a target lock on the attacker, you may spend the target lock to choose any or all attack dice. The attacker must re-roll the chosen dice, and it costs 2. That seems really cool to me. What do you guys think?
I mean, a lot of people have been kind of throwing this card on an X-Wing pilot called Tarn. Mason?
Mason,
Yeah, sure.
Mason.
Because he gets basically free target locks. But, on the other hand, since we're talking about the E-Wing right now, this plus a fire control system, or, you know, one of many other ways to get target locks, is huge, because you can just basically stop them from hitting you completely. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, when you re-roll a dice, when you force them to re-roll, they can't re-roll it back. So.
Right. Which is cool.
Yeah, fun. R7T1. This is a unique Astromech for 3 points. Action. Choose an enemy. Choose an enemy ship at range 1 to 2. If you are inside that ship's firing arc, you may acquire a target lock on that ship. Then, you may perform a free boost action. What?
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I don't know. I mean, it's really cool, but I don't know how to use it. What do I use it on?
Boosting Dutch.
A boosting Dutch. That's cool.
I mean, I saw somebody throw it onto Corrin the other day. So same guy who I was playing had this on his thing. I mean, he used it all the time, because especially when we were facing each other, he would be able to boost, either in or out of the arc. He'd be able to grab a target lock in that time. I mean, the ability to have 2 actions at once is so huge, I think. And then in addition to that, it doesn't even have to be that he's facing me, right? So it doesn't have to be that you have a lock on each other. It's just that that you have to be in each other's arc. It's just you have to be in his. So I mean, that could mean somebody who's over, over here, but you're close enough to get a target lock, and then you can either boost out of the way or something along those lines. So,
Yeah.
I think I thought it was super cool.
It's pretty nice on the E-Wing because it gives you the boost action.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
you have access to all 5.
Yeah, and I mean it could be really cool on Corran Horn for the turn after he's done his 2 attacks, and he just gets that extra boost out and makes him, be able to come back into the fray a little bit sooner.
That's cool.
Good.
Fun. So those are the cards. Let's talk a little bit about the E-Wing. We've said cost. Cost keeps coming up. It obviously starts at 27 points, which means that you can obviously with it you can only ever have 3 max in a squad. Plus with 27 points, if it's a ship that you really want to put a lot of stuff on, or that kind of the idea of it is either you have variety or you can tack a lot of things onto it for combos. Is it cool? Or is it just overpriced? What do you guys think?
I do think it's cool. I am reticent to suggest that anyone ever have 3 in their squad. It doesn't do it doesn't do enough on its own. There's not enough alternate pilots to make it worthwhile. That kind of mesh together in the way that a lot of other things do, like with all X-Wings and stuff like that. So right now, I think it's going to be great in 1s and 2s to complement other ships, or for having other ships complement them.
Yeah, because you're not locked into 3 ships, but it's really hard to get another 4th one since it's so expensive. So it'll probably be one of these where you decide you want to take an E-Wing, and then you more or less build your list around that and say, okay, this is going to be a centerpiece. Like Eton is going to be providing all these crits. So you're like, okay, how can I get the most crits out of the rest of my squad?
Right.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Other thoughts? What did you think? Because you got to fly it the other day. What did you think?
I think that I beat you with it.
It's true. I did definitely lose. Absolutely.
So, it has to do something right.
It was fun. It was obviously a fun squad.
Yeah, I think it's, you're not going to have a ton of them in one squad, but I think they can be very useful. So I think they're all right.
Wonderful. Well, that is the E-Wing. That's the stuff that comes in the box. Lots of cool stuff. Obviously, thanks Max and Dallas for being here. Stay tuned. We will have more coverage. We will be talking about the TIE Defender next. Stay tuned. Keep playing awesome games. That's
Or
a thing.
else.